just shooting right out of their soul. Taxes are irrelevant, that doesn't mean anything. But a fire that burns from their birth until their death. And in that time, that is a fire that will not be put out. Was, at least at one point, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. He doesn't care about being comedic. What a dumb question. Moving on. Bonjour! This is my real voice. Hello. Alright, we're back with episode number 2 of Live Typing MBTI Celebrities with Bryn Moore. I'm Bryn Moore. Hello. That's right, this is episode number 2. Today we're going to be doing the same thing we did last time. I'm going to be live typing a celebrity. So that means going in cold, or like lukewarm, because to the person I picked today, I do actually know a little bit. So without further ado, except for this slight further ado, just to recap what we're doing, live typing, lukewarm. I'm going to be watching interviews. Maybe I'll look up some information about like their life or something. And then I'm going to estimate what I think their MBTI type is as I go. And then I'll look it up and see if the internet agrees with me, or if I agree with the internet, I might not. And apparently, I might not agree with anybody watching either. And I think that's a lot of fun. Because again, I'm just live. This is live. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, it's recorded, but I'm doing it live. And I said I don't know what to do. I do know what I'm doing, but you know, part of the interesting thing about personality is I don't know these people. I've never spoken to them. They're actors. Let's keep that in mind. They hide their own personality for a profession. So anyway, now without further ado, today we are going to be live typing. I'm going to be live typing an actor I'm a big fan of, Leonardo DiCaprio is who I'll be live typing. So this is going to be a fun one. Total full disclosure, I'm pretty familiar with Leonardo, more so than I was familiar with Timothy. I've thought about his MBTI probably at some points in the past, obviously, and so it might not come too shocking to me once I start to develop. So before I get started, preconceived notions. I am leaning so heavily toward FI Dom with SE. Now that could mean I'm going to see how extroverted he actually is in interviews. I don't think I've ever seen him interview before, maybe once or twice. So he may have more of an extroverted twist than I'm familiar with in his acting. He's really just a great actor. So he's going to be very good at being extroverted or introverted or whatever the character demands. So I'm thinking ISFP, could be ESFP. I'm also going to be looking out for any of that intuition, any of that more concerned with the ideas and the abstraction than the actual, sensual nature of taking on a different personality. So it's going to be things like, is he rooting his acting in the way a character feels, or is he rooting the acting in what he thinks a character should be like? And to me, that's going to be what is the difference in looking for that NE or that NI versus the SE and the SI. But preconceived notions, I'm thinking ISFP, maybe ESFP. Since I feel so strongly that FI, we could go into the INFP territory. All right, that's enough talking. Let's do this thing. Click.
So I was wondering.
All right. I should say I've already picked out a couple of interviews this time. I've got three YouTube videos up here to check him out, and I'm not gonna do what I did last time, where I just don't even have a place to start. I picked 3 out. I haven't watched them yet, so let's just see how it goes. I don't want to see this boring stuff. I don't want to see right into the action. How Leo's latest character compares to the dude. What does this say? The dude in Big Lebowski. Fantastic. Great.
After the movie of one of my favorite characters in cinema, the dude.
That's introverted energy.
Jeffrey Lebowski.
I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
By the way,
There's some dude.
It's been so long since I've seen The Big Lebowski, but the dude, extroverted sensing energy right there. Or extrovert intuition as well. One of those two. Extroverted perceiver, all the way. But you're not here for the dude. Or are you? No.
Some dude in there, for sure.
That or his dudeness or duder or, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Were you conscious of his dudeness during the shoot?
The dude, to me, is one of the most...
Moving on.
Iconic performances. I would never try to duplicate that. But there's
I wanna
definitely...
pause. There's going to be a lot of pausing. I apologize. All right, first of all, just his body language. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not getting a strong extroverted energy from this body language. I am getting a strong emotional energy because he's protecting a part of himself. Now, in this interview, I'm probably gonna have a hard time reading his facial expressions, considering they seem to be a little bit stuck, which is a shame for an actor to do to himself. But body language, absolutely. He's in here. He's introverted. There's definitely an emotional thing. I'm already getting more FI off the top. This might be a really short video. I apologize for that. Just to shoot off somewhere else, what else could that look? What else could those, that body language be? It could be an introverted sensing thing going on with that extroverted feelings, like an ISFJ energy, where they're focused and they're really listening. But I don't know, the holding the oneself. No offense, but that's really screaming FI. Which, no offense taken. I have FI too, so don't worry about it. Let's continue.
That's my father's favorite character, I think, in cinema history.
Dude here.
There's almost a folk hero element to him. A late 60s, a keep on trucking sort of element to that.
All right, bad question. Let's find a better question. Making Quentin Tarantino laugh.
About it. I've heard that there's a real pleasure. I imagine there's a real pleasure when you get Quentin to laugh during a take. When has that happened for you? Because I would to you that you're one of the most underappreciated comic actors out there. And this film, trust me,
he doesn't care about being
has about
comedic.
5 or 6.
That's
you
what
can't
that
help
said.
yourself but laugh moments. When have you got Quentin to laugh? When have you got directors? And more importantly, when have you got the crew to laugh in a take?
That's an interesting question. I think that the directors have to create that ecosystem for you. They give you the setup for those characters, and they allow you to sort of fly. And Paul is like that too. Quentin was like that too. They're kind of off camera watching you, waiting for those surprise moments. But it's in the characters that they write. It's in the circumstances that they give you as an actor to allow those moments.
All right. What he's talking about here, I pick up on as, and hopefully this isn't my bias coming in, but this is what I'm picking up on. He says it's not, well, first of all, he's not all that concerned about being comedic. Clearly, he very much seems to see himself as a serious actor, and he recognizes, though, that comedy is going to be an integral part in certain characters in certain moments in performing. But he's not really concerned with that. He recognizes that it's going to happen, and if it's going to happen, well, A, it's going to be coming from the character. B, it's going to be coming from the setting. And C, it's going to be coming from that interplay between what the director is creating and what you, as an actor, are able to find yourself in. He's not thinking about setting up this clandestine moment. He's just merely a part of it. He is an actor through and through. And in my opinion, SFPs are actors through and through, regardless of what they're doing in their lives. It's one of my favorite things about them. They are constantly assessing and analyzing their atmosphere, their environment, and finding their place in it. And I think that's exactly what he's referring to. I can see my battery blinking at me, so let's go on to the next clip, shall we? Let's see what else is good in here. Ooh, his mother's movie archive. The memorable director's note, Leo's debut movie. All right, cool. I want to go a little into his past because here he's very much set himself up as who he is, and he's done who knows how many thousands of interviews. So he's gonna be ready to answer all these questions. So what's he say about his past?
What would you say are your most memorable director's notes? I know you've been asked this before, and you gave me a good one a few years ago, which is Quentin saying, "Just effing do it," which is a treat. But have there been any others that jump into your mind?
I've given this answer before, so I hope it's not boring.
What'd I just say?
But my first film that I did called This Boy's Life, my first starring role, was opposite De Niro.
I just found out yesterday, Jack, they won't let kids shoot.
You said I could.
I know.
It's not fair. You just said that I could.
I was on set, being immersed in that environment for the first time, watching De Niro work. And, I didn't quite have my footing in the world of cinema yet. And Michael Caton Jones, the director, to me, in a very tough scene, said to me, "Pain is temporary, film is forever." And I said, okay, got it. And that has resonated with me the most, I think.
Pain is temporary, film is forever. So there's that very message is really much, it's very much establishing this idea of one's place in the world being based off of what you can create and establish yourself. So ISFPs very much find themselves as not flashes in the pan per se, but a fire that burns from their birth until their death. And in that time, that is a fire that will not be put out. Not only not due to someone else coming in and trying to put it out, but that actually spurs on that flame even more. So that's interesting. I already forgot what he said because I'm not paying attention. I'm just thinking.
Cinema yet? And Michael Caton Jones, the director, to me, in a very tough scene, said to me, "Pain is temporary, film is forever."
Pain is
And
temporary,
I said,
film
okay,
is forever.
got it.
I don't know, man. You could take out that film and put anything else that an ISFP does with their lives, and they would get the same thing out of it. You could say, pain is temporary, art is forever. ISFP's with you 100%. You could say, I don't know, pain is temporary, what you teach someone is forever. Pain is temporary, love is forever. ISFP's all the way. Pain is temporary, music is forever. Pain is temporary, attitude is forever. How you're remembered, whatever. There's a lot there. This is gonna be a short video, which is, like I said, maybe good because my battery's dying. So let me click on some other. Let me see when he was a kid. I haven't heard him when he was a kid.
I'm all right. How are
Here we
you?
go.
Have you
filed your
income tax returns yet?
No, I don't
gonna
do my
skip forward.
taxes.
Oh.
My mom does them for me.
Is mom reliable?
My mom's very reliable.
Well, hey, actually, that's kind of random. My mom does them for me, but also, I'm sorry, I'm not even. This is not gonna be an interesting video, but ISFPs, they don't. Yeah, like I said, my battery was dying. This time, though, I remembered to flip my little thing open so I can actually see if it dies. I'm learning, I'm learning. My people aren't necessarily the most prepared in the world, but hey, we certainly try. All right, I'm gonna pick up right where I was left off, but like I said, I think I pretty much decided ISFP. Let's hone in. Let's look for that INFP or ESFP personality coming through because FI is so strong. Hell, I'll even look for ENFP in here. It's possible. Moving right along. By the way, let's just replay this clip here.
Income tax returns yet?
No, I don't do my taxes.
Oh.
My mom does them for me.
His mom does his taxes for him, and he's not embarrassed to admit it. You know why? The only things that an ISFP no shade. The only things an INFP would be embarrassed about are things that matter. Taxes are irrelevant. That doesn't mean anything to an ISFP. That's just a thing that you have to do to live. What matters to an ISFP is going to be their heart, right? And whether they're good enough to give their love to someone. But that can mean all kinds of love. I'm not saying they're overly emotional. They don't have to be overly emotional. But what they care about is coming from their core. So everything that they care about, they believe in. If they don't believe in taxes, then who cares? I'm not embarrassed to admit there's a lot of intuitives, there's a lot of sensors, there's a lot of thinkers that think that if they allow somebody else in their life to do something tangible for them, then they're not worthy enough. But that's not how ISFPs. They just care about what really, really matters, and to them that's the soul and the heart. Let's see what else little Leo says.
Steak dinner. Can we get you a nice big thick steak?
No thanks, Dave.
Tell me a little bit about your name, if you don't.
He says, "No thanks, Dave," because he knows he's a good-looking kid. He's not embarrassed to admit that, but he probably won't admit it because he knows that that's something you just don't say. That's not right. But yeah,
If you don't mind,
he knows.
Leonardo DiCaprio. It is a very rhythmic, very poetic sort of sounding name. Very nice,
Well,
lovely
thank
name.
you. Thank you
Is
very
there a
much.
story about that? Your parents have something?
Actually, I do have a story about my
Let me hear it.
Well, the first time I got an agent, they thought my
How
name...
old were you?
I was about 6 years old, 7 years old.
Notice how his eyes are not that expressive. I'm gonna finish this in a minute, and I'm gonna look up what other people say. But his eyes are not that expressive. Notice how they lock in. Now that's something that also actors do. But this is an interview. You could say he's acting, but he's young here. His eyes are just stationary. They're not moving. They're not expressive. It's the rest of his body that's doing the expressive. But more importantly, it's his words and it's his attitude and it's his behavior. And it's his body. I mean, he's moving. He's playing with his hair. He's not embarrassed about playing with his hair. But his eyes are locked in, not on a person, but they're to their shape. They're not moving. They're not fluctuating very much because they don't need to. He's so expressive otherwise. And his eyes, he has to be paying attention. Also, even though he's probably got a little bit of makeup on, he's got little bags under his eyes, and FI doms don't sleep.
At 6
Well, I
years old.
tried to get an agent,
Right.
but I didn't succeed because they wanted to change my name to Lenny Williams. They thought my name was a little too ethnic, so they sort of dissected it and said, "Hey, Leonardo, Lenny, my middle name's Wilhelm," so they changed that to Williams.
Oh, no, wait
And
a minute. Let's get back to your given name again. Leonardo Wilhelm DiCaprio?
Yeah, it's my name.
Wow, that's a good one. That's great.
He's just
Thanks.
a performer. He's just a natural performer through and through. There's not really much else to say about this. What's going on here? What's this super interesting spot?
Supposed to be a female, yeah, Lassie.
Right.
Yeah, Lassie, Laddie. Laddie would be the male, Lassie's the female.
Right.
Yeah.
So they had 5 different dogs that were all guys to do the tricks. I guess that the
We have
male
5
dogs,
different Pauls.
male dogs are smarter or something like that, right? What did you say?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. What are you doing? The male dogs are smarter? Is that what you said?
I don't know. That's supposedly one was for the tricks, one was for the
I
expression.
like how he says this thing. He doesn't think about what he's saying. He's
right?
just going for it. That's what perceivers do all the time. That's what I do all the time. That's my whole life. Isn't that right? Yeah, she says that's right too. Anyway, no, that's just what perceivers do. They're just always going out the top of it. He didn't think that might be offensive to say. He cares that it's offensive, but he's like, I don't know why. That's weird. All right, we're good. Let's see what the internet says. Leonardo DiCaprio, MBTI. Moment of truth, my friends. Are we ready? As if what people say on the internet is actually like guaranteed truth. Now let's just see. Boop. Clickety clackety, clickety clickety clackety, clickety clicky clacky. Well, I'm gonna skip okay, I'm gonna skip it. We don't care about the AI. AI doesn't know what it's talking about. We want to look at other human beings. Let's start with Reddit, and we'll also open Le Personnalité Database. Leonardo DiCaprio. I've read about him being an ESFP, but is he really? He seems kind of introverted to me. This is a really great point. I would say I'm obviously leaning toward ISFP, and the reason I say ISFP is because, again, those eyes. With an ESFP, they're going to be looking around, they're going to be paying attention to any possible thing that they might be able to capitalize on in that moment. And they're also going to be so much more interpersonal related. They're not going to be as morally necessary driven. They're obviously going to be morally driven and care about what's going on around them, but it's going to feel almost more organic to the people around them, whereas an ISFP, it's like as it's just shooting right out of their soul. Let's see. Despite playing insane roles, interviews he acts very introverted. I'll go with ISTP as well. ISTP, but with no backing at all. All right, so let's talk about why not ISTP. Leonardo DiCaprio is not an ISTP because he doesn't have that. He doesn't. I didn't watch much, but he doesn't talk about his craftsmanship, right? He talks about the moment, the character, the feeling. He doesn't talk about the drive. He doesn't talk about the craftsmanship. He doesn't talk about, manifesting. He's just saying like, here's what I am, here's who I am. Someone says ESFP to me, and then someone says, how so? Hey, great question, excellent hook. Excellent question, excellent hook. Gelfsara says, could you perhaps rephrase it in a more specific way? All ESFPs have essentially the same telltale traits for typing purposes. I don't think you're asking for a generic answer. We could reference an interview. I don't know what's happening here. We're just going to skip that. Goodbye, Reddit. Personality database says ESFP, an Enneagram type 7 wing 6. Now this is really interesting. ISFPs can be quite extroverted in person, in the moment, if he is an Enneagram 7, which I wasn't even thinking about Enneagram for him. But 7 certainly fits as an option. There could be a 3 or a 4 in there in the tri-type, whatever you want to call it. If he's got that 7 energy, then that's going to make him seem even more extroverted than a normal ISFP might. And again, with that ESFP, I'm sorry, even if you've been in movies all your life, you've done interviews all your life, no ESFP is going to stand there like this. Like it's not going to happen. It's an impossibility. That'd be like me standing stationary in a video. It's not going to happen. I get. Yes, he's an incredible entertainer. He's a natural born actor. ESFP makes a lot of sense. I don't think there's enough there to back it up. They say extroversion high, but I don't know whether they're not doing anything to back that up with. Oh, he's a Scorpio? Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm a Scorpio. November 11th? His birthday is like 3 days before mine. And like 20 years, but anyway, it doesn't say anything about him. Okay, that's not helpful. What else do we have? Psychology junkies. He's a Hollywood enigma. I think is okay. What does it mean to be an ISFP? Wait, where does it say that? Guys, I'm sorry. Psychology junkies, you gotta be more clear with what the heck is even going on here. Where does it say? Am I blind? Am I insane? No. It just, alright, ISFP. This guy says ISFP. A quick overview. The virtuoso. Blah, blah, blah. Do they talk about, here we go. No. They don't talk about FI at all. Where do they talk about FI? Here we go. Leonardo DiCaprio's introverted feeling, the core of his personality. I think I'll always feel like an outsider. Yeah, I agree. Thank you for putting that in here, psychology junkie. That's a huge thing. FI, super individualistic, and not that ESFPs can't be individualistic. They friggin' are. They just don't identify with it the same way unless it comes up in conversation or somebody else around them is talking about how individualistic they are. And you bet your sweet booty an ESFP is going to talk about them being individualistic too. But again, it's because they are, and they're recognizing it because it's happening in the moment. Whereas an ISFP, They are living their life every day. It's like a fish not knowing it's in water, with FI DOMs knowing if they're individualistic, or feeling like an outsider, or feeling different, or feeling weird, or feeling wrong. Oh, no offense, I love ISFPs. I truly do. That's a great, thank you for putting that in, Psych Junkie. Rejecting Hollywood's attempts to define him, the romantic heartthrob. That's true, he's gone out of his way, but it's not like an ESFP wouldn't do that either, except that an ESFP would do it in a much more radical sense. Perhaps. They are quite similar in certain ways, but again, that extrovert sensing energy, now this might be controversial, think Elvis Presley. He's just constantly living his life was living his life in explosive moments. That's an ESFP. Think Katy Perry. Her whole persona was, at least at one point, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. DiCaprio does not have that. And he absolutely could have that. Another thing is important to consider Leonardo DiCaprio's dating history, right? An ESFP would be more concerned about how that appears to the outside world, because they recognize, oh, I can't just keep doing the same thing. He would start to eat himself up about just dumping these people at 25 and then moving on. But an ISFP, if they don't have that particular moral necessity, they're going to be perfectly fine doing what they believe is okay and is right. And I'm certainly not going to say anything about whether it's right or wrong. That's for you to decide. Voila! On that note, I think you all completely agree with me at this point that Leonardo DiCaprio is an ISFP. 100%. Thank you for agreeing. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's it. Goodbye. See you later. Have a good time. No, I'm just kidding. Please, if you disagree, if you agree, if you want me to shut up, if you want me to not shut up, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I know this is probably going to be a quicker one than normal, and I'm sorry maybe it wasn't as exciting or entertaining or controversial as my last video, apparently. Sorry. The next one, I promise, will be more controversial, and I'm very new to this, if that's not clear. I'm going to try to put out a couple new videos talking about what MBTI is to me, why I believe in it, why I think it's useful, and I'm going to be talking about a little more hardcore stuff as well coming up, things like the process of Jungian individuation and a little bit of my personal journey. So if that sounds interesting to you, please look out for those videos. I'm also going to be doing a couple more of these live videos, trying to start putting these out more regularly. Yeah, right? And if you guys have any thoughts for any videos, anything you'd like to see at all, or any people that you'd like me to type, please throw them down in the comments. If this was appealing or interesting to you at all, or you just think that I should stop doing this, then the key is to hit the like button. Otherwise, I'm not going to know that I should stop, so you should hit the like button. And if this is at all interesting to you, and I'm at all interesting to you, then you should subscribe, because that would be, honestly, that would just make my day. I've got 6 right now. You could be the 7th, lucky number 7. Look at that. I'd appreciate it, and I'd be very grateful. So now I shall say au revoir, mes amis. Mwah.